Pilates by Kels. Today we'll work on basic Pilates principles as well as a beginner's workout. Let's get started with Pilates breathing. Place your hands on the sides of your rib cage. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, feeling the sides of your ribs expand out into your hands. On the exhale, purse your lips like you're blowing out a candle and feel the rib cage close. Again, breathe in through the nose and exhale out of the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. So what you want to feel is a lateral breath, or the hands expanding out and in as you breathe. Inhaling through the nose, the sides of the rib cage open, and exhale to close the ribs. So that Pilates breath is always in through the nose and out through the mouth with a pursed lip. Let's come onto our backs to talk about spinal principles. Lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat, just feel natural here, and you'll feel that natural curve in your low back. So as you can see here, I have just a little bit of space between my low back and my mat. This is what we call your neutral spine, so just how you would fall naturally onto the ground. So this is one of our spinal positions. That's what we call, again, neutral spine. Our other spinal principle is what we call imprint. So to show you imprint, I'm going to take my ribs, I'm going to close them together, activating my core, and you can see my low back now comes in contact with the mat. So again, back to neutral, space underneath my back between the mat, and then imprint, closing my ribs, using my core to bring my low back in contact with the mat. So this is your imprint, and this is your neutral. One more time, imprint and neutral. So what you're really just doing is a little tilt of the pelvis, back and forth. Now we use these different spinal principles to protect our low back and engage our core in different exercises. And I'll tell you when you need to be in each position. So just take a few more practice rounds of your imprint and neutral. The last thing to talk about here is just our rib cage placement. So when our arms are reaching above our heads, look what happens when I just kind of let my ribs go. Everything just kind of falls, everything's open, really overarched in my low back. But if I keep my ribs closed, which is going to help engage my core, my arms won't go quite as far, but now I'm really engaged in my center. I have a nice spinal position, my ribs are closed, my core is engaged. So this is what we always want in Pilates, is our ribs are closed, never just kind of splayed open, hanging out with no control. Our core is what's going to keep those ribs closed. And again, we might not have as much range of motion, but it's much better for our bodies. Our core will be engaged, our spine will be in a better position. So the top three things we have to remember are, number one, our breathing. So again, we're going out into the sides and closing. Our spinal positions, neutral and imprint. And finally, our rib cage placement. Instead of being all open and all over the place, we're just going to rein it in by engaging our core and keeping those ribs closed. So now we're ready to get started with a little workout. So again, we're going to work on that spinal principle here right at the beginning. We're going to keep a neutral spine in this exercise for our ab prep. So just maintaining that small space under your low back. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose, again feeling the sides of the rib cage expand. On the exhale, I want you to think about gliding your rib cage towards your hip bones as you just reach the fingertips to your feet. So again, I didn't go too far. I still have this neutral spine. My core is engaged. It's just almost like a baby crunch. And then I'm gonna lower down. So inhale through the nose. On the exhale, the ribs slide towards the hips, reaching the fingertips. Inhaling at the top, and then exhale nice and slow as you lower down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, exhale, reach. Inhale at the top, and exhale to lower. Deep breath here, and reach, little ab crunch. Inhale, and lower down. Last one, deep breath in, and exhale, reach. Inhale, hold, and exhale to lower down. Very nice. So that is just our ab prep. Now we're going to get into a little bit of spinal articulation. So keeping the feet flat here, arms are by the sides. We're going to press into the feet, and we're going to find that imprint. So pressing with the feet, imprint the spine, so you can see my low back went down to the mat, and then keep pressing into the feet to start lifting the tailbone, and roll those hips all the way to the sky for what we call a shoulder bridge. So now I've got one long line from shoulder to knee. I'm pressing into my feet to lift the back of the leg. So you can go ahead, take your hands, touch your hamstrings, and make sure they're really turned on. So you've got the back of the legs, the glutes and hamstrings turned on to keep the shoulder bridge. Again, my ribs are closed so that my core is engaged. I'll take a big inhale here at the top. On the exhale, I'm going to lead with my sternum as I start to articulate or roll the spine down to the mat. So one vertebrae at a time. I start at the top, slowly rolling down, reaching through that spine, trying to reach my tail all the way between my legs, all the way down one vertebrae. My tailbone will hit the mat, and then at the end, I'll release to that neutral spine. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, find that imprint, and start pressing to the feet to roll the hips to the sky, finding one long line from shoulder to knee. Inhale at the top. On that exhale from the sternum, slowly roll that spine down one vertebrae at a time, lengthening the spine, thinking about reaching the knees further from your chin, and then all the way down the tailbone hits, we release to neutral. You should feel those glutes and hamstrings now. This is also a really great massage for the spine. Inhale here. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, finding imprint, rolling those hips up, really press into the feet. Inhale at the top. And exhale nice and slow as you articulate that spine down, reaching, 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 and reaching. How about two more of those here? So find your imprint, press into the feet, use the back of the legs to lift the hips. Inhale at the top. Exhale nice and slow as you round the spine all the way down. Nice massage for the spine here. Feeling that core even. Release to neutral. And again, pressing into the feet. Roll those hips up. Reaching through the spine as you lower down, one vertebrae at a time. All the way down. Last one here. Press into the feet to roll those hips up. Back of the legs are turning on. Inhale at the top. And exhale nice and slow as you slowly roll that spine down. All the way. And then hug those knees into the chest. Let's take a little rock side to side. So let's go right into our ab series. This will be our series of 5. So for starters in our ab series, we're going to find a nice tabletop position with the legs. So we'll bring one leg up to tabletop, and then slowly bring that other leg up to meet it. So now that we're in tabletop, we want to have an imprinted spine. So there's no space between your low back and the mat. So really closing those ribs, finding that nice imprinted position. And this is to protect our low back so that we don't have any low back pain. When we're doing our ab work, we want to make sure we're using the core and not our low back. So from here, we'll go ahead and lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and bring the hands behind the head. If you have neck issues, you can keep the neck down and just do the legs for this portion. So starting with our series of 5, we're going to press one leg out for our single leg stretch, and switch, and switch. So again, trying to maintain imprint that entire time. If you feel that low back coming off of the mat, you can take your legs higher to the sky, and that will help you keep that low back down. The lower those legs go towards the floor, the harder it's going to be to keep that low back down. So you just find the level of the legs that works best for you. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale and inhale. Let's just go for 3 and 2. Last set. And hug the knees. So just take a nice reset here. 1 down, 4 to go in our series of 5. So come back to that tabletop position. Lifting the head, neck, and shoulders if that's available to you. Hands to bring just the elbow to the knee, but the entire shoulder goes all the way over to the knee. And again, here you can take that leg as high or as low as you need to keep that low back touching the mat. Let's go for an exhale on the switch. Inhale to center. So we exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. You got it. Keep going. Take a break if you need to. And come right back to it when you're ready. How about just a few more sets here? 2 more on each side. Last set. And then hug those knees into the chest. Nice work. We've got 2 down and only 3 to go. So again, coming back to that tabletop position. Find that nice strong imprint in the spine. This time we're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll keep the arms reaching instead of coming behind the head. Again, you can always do this with the chest down. We're going to extend the legs straight out as we take our arms like we're taking off a top hat, and then circle those arms around as we bend the knees. So we go out and around, out and around. Again, take those legs as high or as low as you need to keep that imprint in the spine. Lower the chest if you need. And inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more here. Last one. And rest. All right, we're more than halfway through. Just 2 more in this little series of 5 with our ab work. So let's go ahead and take those legs straight up to the sky this time. If you have tight hamstrings, you can do just a little bend of the knees. We're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and this time we're going to reach up and grab either above or below the knee. So either on the calf or on the thigh, not right on the joint. So I'm going to reach up and grab my calf here. I'm going to lower my left leg down. I'm going to give this right leg 2 little tugs, and then I'm going to switch. Exhale, exhale, switch. Again, we're in that imprinted spine. You can always lower the chest if you need. You can always grab onto the thigh instead of the calf. Plenty of options here. Think about lengthening that leg as it goes down instead of just lowering it, so you can get a little more length out of it. 2 more sets. Stick with me. 1 more each side, and then hugging those knees in. Beautiful work. So we're almost done. We just have 1 more exercise here, and that is going to be our double leg lift and lower. So let's take both legs up to the sky. Again, option to have that bend in the knees. I'm going to take that option here just because my hamstrings are feeling tight today. Arms are going to go by the sides. This time we'll leave the chest down. So we still want that imprint in the spine. From here, both legs are going to lower down just as far as you maintain that imprint. And then exhale, lift back up. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's wrong. So when those legs lower, if my back comes like this is bad. We want to keep that low back down the entire time and then pull those legs back up. If we don't keep that low back down, we're really getting into that low back, which is going to cause you a lot of pain later on. So it doesn't matter how far our legs are going down here. We're more concerned about keeping that low back on the mat more than how long the legs are going. Remember, we're focused on quality over range of motion. We use that breath. Inhale down. Exhale up. 2 more. Last one here. And hug those knees in. Nice work. Let's just take a little spinal twist. We'll extend that left leg out. Right knee pulls into the chest. And then we'll pull that right leg across the body and just take a little twist to the side. After all that out work, you deserve it. Deep breath in here. And all the way down using your arm as a pillow. And just make sure you're in one long line here from shoulder to toe. The other option is to come up onto your forearm. It's going to be a little more work for your shoulder and for your core. So options here, whatever feels comfortable for your body. I'm going to go ahead and stay on my forearm, but let's make sure we're really pressing up through the shoulder if you're on the forearm. So what I don't want to see is this, just kind of hanging out. So really pushing up through that shoulder. The top arm's going to come down onto the mat for support, and those obliques are pulling up, whether you are all the way down on your side or up on your forearm. So keeping those hips really stacked, we're going to take that top leg, we're going to lift it up just in line with the hip. Flex the foot, and then lower it down. So we point, flex, and lower. Doesn't seem like a whole lot now, but I promise in a few more reps you will be feeling this top leg. Make sure those hips aren't rolling around, so you're using your core to stabilize the hips, keeping them nice and strong into place. And just a few more here. Let's hold this next one at the top. So again, keeping those hips really stable, we're just going to draw a little circle with that leg. Tiny little circle, trying to keep those hips as stable as possible. Reverse that circle, just back, down, and around. By now you should be feeling that outer thigh and a little bit of glute, hopefully. For 2, 1, and lower it down. Very nice. So we're going to take that top leg, we're going to bend the knee and just bring the foot in front of the bottom leg. So keeping that foot planted, we're going to use the bottom inner thigh to lift up and lower down. So now we're working the inner thigh of that bottom leg. And reach. Think about reaching that leg further instead of just lifting it up. Can you get a little more length out of that leg? And feel free to go back and do more reps with any of these exercises. Spend a little more time on the parts that you really think you'd like to work on. Last one. Lower down. So I'm going to bring that other leg out. Just rolling onto my back quickly for a little stretch. We'll take that working leg, bring it across the opposite knee. If this is enough stretch for you here, you just give that leg a little push. Make sure you're pulling the toes back towards the knee. If you want more, go ahead and grab onto that bottom thigh. Give a little pull in towards you. So you should be stretching the outer hip, that top leg that was working. So let's go right into the other side. So again, whatever you did on the other side as far as lying down or up on the elbow, you'll do the same thing here. So I'm going to come back up onto my elbow, making sure I'm in one long line from shoulder to toe, pushing up through that shoulder, ribs and core engaged. We'll lift that top leg up, break on your belly button. If you had a break underneath your belly button, you're pulling that up, trying not to smash it so that your core is engaged. We'll take the hands right by the shoulders and draw the shoulders down the back. Fingers are wide. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, press into those hands. Glide the shoulders down the back. And just lift the chest slightly so you're looking about 2 inches in front of your nose. Inhale at the top. And exhale, lower down. Again, pulling that belly button up. Deep breath in. Exhale, glide the shoulders down. Lift the chest, look about 2 inches in front of your face. And lower down. Deep breath. Exhale, lift and looking out. Shoulder blades drawing down the back. Inhale. And exhale, lower. 2 more like this. Drawing those shoulder blades down. Reach, 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 reach. Not too high. Make sure the belly button's lifting. And lower down. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale, shoulder blades drawing down. We lift and reach. Inhale. And lower. Good. So you're welcome to stay here and keep doing that exercise. If you'd like to move on and make it a little more challenging, we'll lift the hands this time. So deep breath in. Exhale, hands lift as the chest lifts, looking out, drawing the shoulder blades back, and then lower down. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale at the top, and lower. So really thinking about shoulder blades pulling down to lift the chest. You're not trying to think about lifting as high as you possibly can, but again, think about lengthening through the body. You should feel the upper back working here. Last one, lift. Now, if you have it in you today, can you lift both of those legs and reach along through the crown of the head, along through the toes, just hold it here, looking the whole back of the body just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down, and then push through those hands, push back into a nice child's pose, just taking some nice flexion after all of that extension. Take a deep breath here in through the nose, and exhale out of the mouth. In through the nose, and exhale, let it go. Let's slowly come up to all fours. Quadruped position. We'll have the hands right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. So we're trying to push up through those shoulders like you're pressing away from the floor. What you don't want to do is this, right? So push up away from that floor and think about pulling those ribs again off the floor so that the core is engaged. So starting here, we're going to take the opposite arm and leg out. So deep breath in. Exhale, reaching one hand out in handshake fashion. Opposite leg reaches, trying to get it at hip height. And then slowly lower down, trying to have that hand and knee touch the mat at the same exact time. Let's switch. Opposite arm and leg, keep pushing up through that bottom shoulder. And slowly lower down with control. And reach. And control it down. And switch. And control it down. And reach. Core is engaged. Control. Reach. And control. One more each side. Reach. And lower. Last one. Reach. And lower. So you're welcome to stay here with our swim prep. If you're ready for a final challenge in today's workout, you can tuck the toes under, making sure those shoulders are right over the wrist. We'll take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we're just going to push up into those arms as we lift those knees to a little hover. Let's hold it here. Push, push, push. So those ribs are pulling up through the shoulders, neutral spine. Let's just hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Push back to that child's pose. Beautiful work, everyone.